And hello everyone, I'm Tzu-Ping from Taiwan. It's very nice to see some old friends here and also meet new friends here. And before I came to Sydney, I just arranged my trip very well because I know if I book in early, then I will get a nice price because my wife always tell me that when you're choosing your hotel near the supermarket, near the station, and you will have a nice life there. So how to book is important, but for our cities because we know we are getting warmer and warmer. So how to book in the thermal comfort in the future is quite important. But it's not really easy to go to the website to book in your future urban. So we have to do it earlier. For example, if you are planning a urban or a building, maybe it takes 5 or 10 years, then you got the building, and maybe 20 years you organize a urban area. So my idea is how to bring this information to all the people. We try to show some perception in the future. So we have some high resolution map, and there's good information. Then they can tell you where and what kind of condition you will experience in the future. So I'll talk about what we're in Taiwan and what kind of condition we are facing. I think 39 is not so high compared to some area, maybe 40. But remember, Taipei is very humid city. It's about 85% of relative humidity. That means if you are exposed to close to 40 degrees Celsius, and you always wait because the temperature is high and the humidity is very high. And we are always talk about the climate change in the future. You talk about the polar bears, but imagine that you are on the urban area, so you will have a little bit higher than the rural area. But how to measure that? In Taipei or in any cities, we have a very good and official weather station, but they are always say on very nice area because we need that there have a good sunshine and good wind speed, so we can measure the correct data. But that is not the area we are exposed. Is kind of cities in Taiwan City is high buildings and very narrow streets and also traffic on the street. If you've been to Taipei, and you will probably go to Taipei 101, but you will see surrounding, we have very crowded street, very narrow street, and almost everyone, they have an air conditioning equipment. Yeah, that means we emit lots of heat also on the street, on the narrow street, and also traffic, a lot of motorcycles, also in Taipei and all the cities. So our aim is to realize the current urban heat island in Taiwan, and especially in some metropolitan cities in Taiwan. And also we want to have some future scenario, what will happen for the thermal stress in the future. And I'll focus on in the final part about what we do for this COVID-19. We don't have time to go abroad, or we are not forbidden. But so we have some project with Taipei and Taichung City and also Tainan City. So we'll share about how to bring this map to the government and to tell them what kind of situation they are focused and what will be the policy in the futures. And at first, I'll talk about the measurement. As I mentioned, that weather station data is good, but it's not really on the streets. So we measure ourselves. So we have probably about 250 points on the metropolitan cities around Taiwan. It's about 6 cities. So this my student you go to the light pole and check the equipment there, and we will have 6 metropolitan cities. So we put everything on the cloud, and it records half an hour, and there's the data. So of course we make some validation compared to the weather station, official weather station data. So we can have a instant map for the urban heat island. Of course, if you got the telephone, and then I can always check what happened for that. And every summer I'm quite busy because the media will go to find me and to show some map. But after summer, they forget everything. Next summer, they will come here again and ask the same question. Yeah, so I write 2 books about Hip Island to remind them it's already knowledge. Yeah, so this is the Taipei area. It is a basin. So here is the central part of the basin. We call it Wanhua area. It's very crowded and it's basin, so all the heat is generated there. But we found the heat is expanding. For example, we have for this couple 3 or 4 year, you find the first year we have some small islands in Taipei, but finally in this year, the heat island expanded. It's not a one small island, it's lot of small island, and finally maybe it will be a big island, urban heat island, like Tokyo Bay. They have faced this kind of condition too. Yeah, so we bring this map to the government, but they'll talk about what happened for the climate change. Can you run some future climate scenario? Yes. So we try to do that, and we are belongs to a huge project that's called TCCRP. We have water resource, forest, agriculture, and flooding, all the topic, and I belong to Urban Heat Island. Yes, and we have some model is produced by another group. We call it Hiram Wolf model, and it's dynamically downscaled to 5 kilometer resolution on AR5 and also AR6. But we all know 5 kilometers don't fit our requirement for the urban area, so we try to do something special. And at first, you have the image of the Taiwan, and you see this is 5 kilometer resolution. So you see that in Taipei City, this is the difference between the baseline and the mid-century scenario. So it probably about 2 or 3 increasement of Taipei Basin. And of course, we collect some required parameters for calculate like PET or UTCI or TMRT. So we have temperature and also wind speed and wind direction. And we have also horizontal radiation that is good for calculate the mean radiant temperature. And also the wind speed. But of course, you will know when we try to downscaling maybe to 5 kilometer to maybe 100 meters, there's 2 issues. The first one is about the wind speed. So we have the roughness. We calculate the roughness based on the 3D model. Yes. And the other one is sky view factor. Yeah, because it's morphology of urban area, different point, they have different visual photo or sky view factor. So we use the UMAP developed by Sweden group, Frederick, and we calculate the sky view factor map for the city. Then we generate some regression model to estimate the TMRT and also the PET and UTCI. So this is the way we calculate the wind speed and also the TMRT, and finally we calculate the PET, MPET, or UTCI in this way. But I don't go detail for that. And this is the final map. and this is about 100-meter resolution. So it's more close to your real life, and for citizens, it's easier to distinguish what living. Yeah, so we use this map to the government because it's easier for them to get the policy. For example, which area will be suffers high thermal stress. For example, if you see the more white, that means cooler area. Let's say Stan or forest part, so it's cooler there. But if you go to this area, here is around Taipei 101. So we also have some anthropogenic heat estimation for that. So in this way, it's good for the people to know or to realize what happened right now. And of course, we have, so this is the full map of the current PET map in Taipei. And based on this procedure, we also produce the future PET map. And of course, we don't input the future urban or building area. Of course, now we are trying to include the extension of the urban area. So for this issue, we can have a good comparison for current and also future climate. And final part, I will talk about how we bring this knowledge or how we transfer the knowledge to the government and also the planner. They need a very simple graphics to show how the park influence the surrounding area. If you are always a very like a wall and the wind breeze cannot go through the neighborhood, but if you have a gate between the building, and that's good. So we bring a very easy calculated regulation for them, and this is included in the Taichung government. When you do an urban renew and you should follow this route, that means if you are facing the park or the river, you need to control your building typology for that. And also for a huge map, you'll find we have a 2 kilometers wind speed direction. It's easier for you to distinguish your potential wind. And for example, and your building should face to a good orientation to booking the thermal comfort in the future. And also some shading, we have a good shading guideline for them in also Tainan cities. And also building consumption, energy consumption is important because when you turn on the HVAC system, that means you emitted a lot of heat to increase the temperature. And this is my final slide. I'll talk about how the knowledge diffusion. We have some urban heat island exhibition on a museum, and also the media or the journalists issue have some information to the public. And of course, I read 2 books because of COVID-19. We don't have anything to do, so write book is a good choice for me. So I have some colleague, and he's good for the good comics. So it's good to bring this knowledge. For example, we talk about the different adaptations. Someone likes exposed to the sun, but someone like to shade. For the planner or designer or architect, they always think about that. And we have a lot of knowledge for the sun orientation or something. So that is possible to book in the future thermal comfort. So that's my talk. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Professor Liu. Any questions on this